Miguel, and I'm going to talk to you about the Russian company called Russian Joint Stock Company Gazprom. The origins of the company come from the USSR, but with the name of Gas Industry Ministry, and then with the end of the USSR, they changed their name to Gazprom State Gas Concern, and later to Russian Joint Stock Company Gazprom. The purpose of the company is to ensure a reliable, efficient, and balanced supply of natural gas, other energy resources, and their derivatives to consumers. The company is directed by a board of directors, and what they do are geological explorations and produce energy for Russia in different presentations like gas and oil. Now I'm going to talk to you about some fun facts about Russia. The first one is that its greatest museum, the Hermitage, also in St. Petersburg, is home to around 70 cats, which guard its treasures against rodents. The tradition dates back to 1745 decree of Empress Elizabeth, the daughter of Peter the Great, founder of St. Petersburg. The second one is that there is a bronze sculpture of a dog with a shiny nose at Ploska Revolution metro station. It is shiny because it's good luck to touch it. The third one is that chicken foot soup called kolodets is a traditional delicacy. The fourth one is that the word vodka derives from the word voda, which means water. The fifth one is that it is considered wimpy to lower the ear flaps of your uchanka, which is a fur hat that you use in the winter, and it is considered wimpy unless the temperature drops below minus 20 Celsius degrees. The next one is that there's a restaurant in Moscow staffed entirely by twins. The idea came from a movie that was made during the Soviet Union era. Also, Russia has more time zones than any other country, having 11 time zones. And the last one is that giving flowers to residents can be a delicate point of etiquette because you should always make sure you give them in odd numbers unless going to a funeral, when even numbers are the rule. Now I'm going to talk to you about my initial thoughts about Russia. Well, my initial thought about business culture in Russia is that they will be really cold and they wouldn't care about others but their own family, and that they will have so many rules of behavior because of a feeling of superiorness. And I found that they have a lot of models for not being rude. One of them is that you should never show the soles of your shoes because they are dirty and you should never let people see them. Also, Russians like punctuality, but sometimes they'll get late to an appointment with businessmen or a foreigner just to test your patience. Another thought I had is that they will hate all the things related to religion or luck, but as I already said, they have a statue that gives them luck. They like the kids, but not just their kids. If you start talking about your family, they will feel comfortable talking about that. It's a good subject in a conversation. Also, another thing that I learned about the Russians is that they love a lot the history, especially their own history, so much that they preserve Lenin's body. But as Germans, they don't like to talk about the World War II or all of the other facts of the Soviet era. All of these are good subjects for a conversation after a business meetings, except for the World War II, because sometimes Russians like to buy you a drink after a meeting, and it is rude if you don't accept it. So if you go to a business meeting and after that they invite you a drink, and now you know what is good to talk about and what is not good to talk about. The Mexican culture for me is not too different from the Russian because it is common here that you bring a gift when you are invited to a house for the first time, to a house of a family, and the Russians do the same. And when it is about business, they like to receive something that comes from your country, and more if it has the logo of your company on it. Another similarity that will be that it is rude to point to someone to summon him, but in Russia, to summon someone with respect, they turn their hand so that the palm faces down and motion inward with all your fingers at once like this. The difference I find is that at least in the central part of Mexico and in the south, they don't tolerate the cold a lot. And also is that they don't do anything on the table until the host does it first, that is done in Russia. For example, they don't start eating until the host starts eating, and they don't stand from the table until the host does it first. Well, that's all for my part, and thank you for listening to this.